off to work. It is 8:56 right now. And I don't have anything to do. I don't have classes today because the school that I'm supposed to go to has their festival, like their school festival where they like make small stores in their classrooms and like do performances and stuff. So I'm actually not going there because the teachers who normally would come to pick me up from the station are super busy. And so, as much as I want to see everything, I can't, which is really annoying, honestly. Um, but yeah, so I'm not going there. So, I'm going to my main school right now. And I probably am just going to sit at my desk and not do actual work, but kind of I still have things to print out for my vision wall. So I'm just gonna work on that and maybe read my book. Um, yeah, that's probably all I'm gonna do because tomorrow I have two classes, but it's probably just gonna be free time because all of their finals and stuff are over, thank God. And on Monday and Tuesday of next week, well, my students at my main school will also be um, practicing for their festival, which will happen in 2 weeks from now. Um, so yeah, so I have nothing to do really except to desk warm at this point. Um, so I'm gonna do that, and I don't know. Maybe if I think of an idea for what I want to do next year, I'll probably like start working on that a little bit too. But hopefully I can just leave at lunchtime and not go back. I'm gonna edit that part out. Please. Okay. But yeah, so I'm gonna go now. Where's my bag? So I'm gonna go now. And I will see you guys in the afternoon when I do my vision wall tour. Okay, what do I want to show you guys? So we are going to do a vision board tour by request of my big sister. So, um, I guess I'll just start with the things on the board and kind of explain as I go why they're there and um, even what they are. So, I have a few quotes up here, um, and I just pretty much I like made a worksheet. I made a worksheet for my students and ended up just using it myself. And on the worksheet I had, things that you want to do, both education wise and personally. And then, things that if you look at them, they make you happy, but also things you want to do. I also had a section for quotes and inspirational quotes and inspirational words, but ones that specifically inspire yourself. So, using that, I ended up making this is temporarily here, possibly. I haven't actually figured out if I'm going to keep it there or not. I just had the idea of hanging it this way with some double-sided tape, and I wanted to see how it looked first before I decided to like go ahead and actually make the thing I wanted to make, which would be similar to this, but it would have cards about this size on them instead of like one whole uh, sheet of paper. So, um, let's start here, and I'm gonna just simply put, yeah, obviously I have workout stuff here, so the goal actually is to get down to a 20% body fat. um, so that's so there are workouts on here specifically so that I can look at them whenever I don't feel like going to the gym maybe, or if I'm thinking, what do I want to do today at the gym, or what do I want to work on today? I have pictures up here as inspiration for things that I could possibly do. I think I already mentioned that I do want to actually get a personal trainer, and I decided that I would but oh wait, what? Sorry, brain fart. I did say that I want to get a personal trainer, but I'm not completely sure that that'll be able to happen. But we'll see. So I still, regardless, will need inspiration. So those are there. So this first quote is from a book that I have not read. I just looked up moon quotes because one of the things that makes me calm when I look at it is the moon. And this has always been a thing for me. I'm not going to get too deep into the reasons why, but this quote also has the word companion in it. And I kind of specialized, or not specialized, but I made some words, one word of each quote into a different style from the rest of the quote, as you can see. And those are the words that are essentially my words that inspire me. So yeah, this quote talks about the moon, and it says a lot of how I feel about the moon and when I look at it, so that is why it's there. And then companion is the major like highlight word because that is a word that one kind of is what I want to come out of 2020. Like I want to build my skills with growing relationships, and I want to actually be able to have people around me with close relationships, essentially. And it also is kind of calming to remember that like there is somebody there next to you. So that's why that's there. Appearances matter, and remember to smile. So actually, this is a picture of me, and I really like this quote because it speaks volumes. But also I feel like I haven't been smiling that often, especially this year, which is really upsetting because if you know me in real life, you know that I really like to laugh, and when something is funny, I can't really hold it in. Um, but yeah, I feel like I haven't been doing much of the thing that I love to do the most, which is smile and just kind of live life very happily and openly. So that's why that is there. Appearances matter is more just because I wanted to put something there to remind me that like I need to come with it when it comes to outfits. Like I really like fashion, but I've been lagging on um really dressing up because of where I live. So that's why I chose that quote. What else? So this is water bomb. Actually, it's a picture from one of the past water bombs, and I went 2 years ago. Not 2 years ago. I went last year, but I didn't. I wasn't able to go this year, which made me really sad. So that's one of the goals for this year is to go to water bomb. Um, Here it says Soraksan, which is a mountain in Korea that I want to climb and or just take the cable car up, but I really want to just like, you know, visit and see the views there. That's one of my goals for the year. This quote is another Nelson Mandela quote. Um, it always seems impossible until it's done. Yeah, so that's really just to remind myself that I need to keep doing things. Like, I feel like I stop midway through a lot of things and will just whether I feel like it's impossible or I just lose interest, I'll stop midway, but I know what the feeling is like because I have done it before of just doing something anyway, even though I'm no longer as motivated or even though it's really hard. And then at the end of it, I feel amazing. So I really wanted to remind myself of that. So that's why that quote is there. And done is kind of just one of those words that's like, I can picture it. It's like one of those words that makes me feel like done. Oh, I can relax. Like I can say it with like a sigh of relief almost. So this one is to really just to remind me to be ambitious. I'm not the most ambitious person in the world. So a lot of these words are I guess, less inspirational and more things that I would like to be true to myself or remind myself to do for the new year. And so being ambitious is one of those things. Like I'm I'm the kind of person where um I'll get bored of something, but if it works, it works. And I won't really strive to do more. So one of the things that I really kind of need to work on and remind myself of is to be ambitious. So that is why that is there. Uh, so this is a mud festival, and I have wanted to go to this mud festival since I got here, since I found out about it in my senior year. Um, and it's a mud festival in Buryong, which is really far from here, which is exactly why this car right here, needs to happen. And that is one of my goals for this year is to get a car, my license and a car. Um, but yeah, I really just want to go and have fun. That's another summertime thing. Um, Next up is Cebu. I wanted to go to Cebu or somewhere. I really just want to travel. I've been here for 2.5 years and I have not left the country unless it was to go back home, which is really sad because there's so many countries that I could go to for very cheap, and I just haven't taken that opportunity yet. So one of the places I really want to go is Cebu, and then the other place is Kyoto. So that is why those two are there. This I'm actually going to make happen very early in 2020, so that's great. This one I am planning on doing a little later, maybe midway through the year, um, if time and money allow. What else? Oh, so this quote: "Every man has his secret sorrows, which the world knows not, and oftentimes we call a man cold when he is only sad." So, this is kind of a quote that's reminiscent of how I felt all of 2019, which I know it sounds really, really sad, um, but it's kind of I felt like I needed something to anchor the rest of these very like inspirational and kind of hopeful quotes. And so I decided to have this quote here just to remind myself like I know I know that I am actually kind of like this where I will just kind of keep things into myself, which is exactly why I need people to talk to. Um and remembering to get things done when I need them to so that I'm not so stressed out with unnecessary with things that I don't necessarily need to be stressed out about. um and that's mostly why this quote is here: "Cold and sad." Low key, I kind of like cold. Like, I just like the winter. And I feel like the word cold can mean so many things. So, and so on some days, depending on how I'm feeling, these words could actually be like very comforting, or they could just remind me, like, okay, I feel like this is how I'm feeling right now. How can we go about fixing that? And then looking at these other quotes for that possible answer. And here's the last quote, and then I'll get to the things around um, the board. So here is from Leslie Jones, who is a comedian on SNL, or was a comedian on SNL. I'm not really sure at the moment. She was just some 23-year-old punk who needed to be fired so she could become Oprah. And become is the highlight word of this, kind of tying into the ambition quote. Mostly just to remind myself, it's okay to fail. And even if I feel like I'm failing for a few months at a time, that's what I need to do in order to improve and become the person that I'm supposed to be and meant to be and want to be. So that is that quote. Okay, so let's start here since we're here already. So this is actually a tracker. So one of the things that I said I really liked again was the moon. It makes me feel calm and relaxed. So I printed out this picture of the moon in its different phases, and I have covered up part of it. And so this is actually, I'm using this to be a savings meter because my goal at the end of 2020, or actually kind of midway through 2020, is to reach 10 million won, which is roughly like $9,800 US dollars. So my goal is to get to that number by like June or July. And so far, I do have between 5 million and 5.5 and 5.5 million. Sorry, that was so hard for me to think about. One saved up, so that's why part of this is already uncovered. And I like made sure that part of so these are actually labels, like shipping labels that I cut into strips, and I made these it like extended over, so instead of cutting the excess off, I decided to just fold them over so I can easily rip them, or not rip them, but peel them away as I get closer to my goal. And moving down, so this blank sheet of paper right here is actually, once 2020 starts, a calendar that I made myself on Word. So I really wanted to work on my time management skills for the longest time. And I was hoping that if I just put everything in one place, like with the things that I really want to do, with the things that make me happy, with the things that I want to have fun doing, and the experiences I want to make, I decided to put some time management and budgeting along with that. So maybe I'll look at it more and use it more. So I also made this little to-do list thing, which is not actually done right now. So I found like an inspo pic for this kind of design and went online, looked up purple paintbrush stroke, and ended up finding something that looked like this, which had which was watercolored instead of what I had originally been looking for. But I really like the way that this looks. And then I changed the color in Word so that each day is actually a different color. So I'm going to take this down real quick and show you guys that. But yeah, so this is Monday, and Tuesday looks like this. It's red. And then, excuse me, Wednesday is blue. Thursday, I believe, is purple. So that's kind of the original. I actually kind of lightened it a little bit. And then Friday is gray. So it's only 5 days because I want to make sure that I'm getting things done, but I also want to make sure that I'm not forcing myself to do things on the weekends when I should be resting. There are 10 spaces on each page, and what I'm going to do is actually buy like those small tab post-its, and for the first like few, I'm gonna do something similar to what I did last year, which I'm gonna show you guys now. So last year I actually wanted to keep organized, but I wasn't really successful in that. So last year I started like a few pages into my journal with a weekly plan, similar to what I'm probably gonna do with that. And here I had kind of worked out a schedule of what I'm gonna do on certain days. So, choose tomorrow's outfit, skincare, but at like on the PM hours, and then AM, wake up. This was Mondays. Wake up, leave the house at 8:15, even though work doesn't start till like 9. Have lunch, work out, dinner, skincare, aromatherapy. So yeah, this is essentially how I had planned to do this. I also had film and edit, which, yeah, I really wanted to start doing YouTube. So I had that there. And that's how I kind of tried to start the year, and I did a pretty okay job, but this year I'm hoping it'll go a little better. The things on my to-do list on this to-do list won't be exactly the same, but I will have a few like things that will be stationary and set every week so that those things will go in like the first uh, 1 to 3 spaces, like workout or do laundry or vacuum, like basic things that you're supposed to do every single day. Nothing too big. And then I'm going to use the little post-it tabs to stick here and just write like, okay, today specifically, like this week, Monday, I need to lesson plan for my travel middle school, or, you know, um, on Friday, I need to write out ooh I need to write out my study plan for my college applications, that kind of thing. And then I'm going to change it every week. That way I am constantly like reminding myself of things, because I do actually forget a lot of things. Even if they're in my phone, I'll still forget them, which is really sad. So last thing, but actually one of the most important things is this piece of art that I made. So we have self. I was originally gonna do this by hand, and then I yeah, my handwriting sucks. So self is in the middle, and then we have these little words around it to remind me of the things that, again, I kind of want to strive for throughout 2020. So we have first, selfless. I feel like generally speaking, I I want to say that I'm kind of selfless, but there are moments that I feel like I need to improve on that aspect, and not in the sense of giving up things that make me happy or making myself stressed out because I want to be selfless, but just like genuinely, I don't have anything going on, so why not do this thing? Um, instead of saying, and nah, I'm just gonna sleep. So that's one of the things. Then we have self-care, which I do not do a very good job of. And as you saw in my kind of diary a minute ago, I put that I would do skincare and aromatherapy on some days, and that is something that I did pretty well for like a month, and then after that, just never again. And I feel like I really need that. And now I have my candles that I kind of actually really like. So, really like. So I feel like I'll continue to buy them and refill them. Um, and even if it's just that amount of self care, I think is really a step in the right direction. So we have self care, we have self respect, and that. Uh, so yeah, I mean, self respect. I wanna, you know, practice that. Self love. Self love. So I rag on myself a lot. I say that I can't do things, or I like will talk myself down. Um, so I want to try and focus on fixing that, and, kind of changing the way I speak about myself. And then self discipline, which we have already spoken a little bit about. Self discipline is kind of the main keyword for 2020, because I feel like without self discipline, I will not be able to have that time to have self care, or self respect, or for being selfless, for that matter. Like, all of these wouldn't really be possible, for me at least, without having the discipline to remember to do them, or just the discipline to, not remember to do them, but like actually do them. um because I will kind of just be like, self-care, that's too much work. It's way too much work to like, you know, take care of my skin, or it's way too much work to buy a candle and light it, you know? So I feel like without self-discipline, I'm really just not going to be able to do any of the things on this wall. So um that's that's the key word. Okay. Well, I hope you liked this little tour of my 2020 um, vision board. And I don't know if you guys have any questions, please let me know. Yeah. And before I go, I want to shamelessly plug one of my really good friends. Her name is Sal, and she is the owner of Strong Her Girls, which I will put in the description below. Please check her out if you want to find ways to live a healthier life for yourself, really. She's a very inspirational person, and she's very amazing to talk to. Um, and kind of get advice from, and also she will make you work, but also make sure that you are mentally, you know, staying mentally healthy along the way. So I just want to shout her out real quick. But yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow. So bye.